Hi again. Good afternoon, everybody. This is Vikas, and I have the pleasure of welcoming you all. I am not able to see all of you, but I'm hoping that you can see me. Can I take a quick check from Michael and Kirill, who are our esteemed speakers, if they can hear me?
Yes, hearing you well.
Yes, we
Fantastic.
can hear you. Hi, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here.
Same
Yeah,
here.
I will introduce you both very quickly. Let me just first introduce the program, which is called the DLA, which is Digital Loop Accelerator. And, we were keeping the suspense as to what digital loops are, and now we are ready to break the suspense. This is the first in a series of webinars, like 3 webinars and 3 seminars, official ones, that we will be having. And soon we'll reach out to you in Albania and neighboring countries and hold as many seminars as possible. So this is not the only touch point we have. However, you will have one chance to come live with speakers like Kirill and Michael. So what I'll do is, in 2 minutes, I'll introduce the program, and then I will hand it over to Kirill, who is the co-founder and Chief Commercial Officer of Munch, which is one of the top circular economy startups for preventing food wastage. And then Michael Schmidt, who's a senior leader in Circuly, and we'll talk about Circuly, where it fits into the entire equation. He's the senior leader in Circuly, and he will be presenting not just Circuly, but he'll be introducing circular economy startups in general and how Circuly helps build these startups, how other startups can be built. Very quickly, let me go into presentation mode and share my screen. And show you a very brief slide on, and you will find these presentations on the website. So I will also show you the website and what lies where. So very quick introduction. What are the important points, parts or aspects of the Digital Loop Accelerator? So first of all, this is not an accelerator, it's a venture studio. And it is meant to create, the focus here is not so much on, hey, you have a startup, let's accelerate it, or let's, help it grow. But you have an idea, let's talk about it, let's help you build the startup out of that idea, and we help you grow the startup. But here again, going further down, it's called a venture studio because you don't even have to tax your brains too much and come up with great ideas. You have a set of standard ideas, which we call digital loops. And there are 5 digital loops standard, and you can find them actually listed on our website. You will find the references here. So quickly telling you what a digital loop is. Let's say digital loop 1. We are calling it a loop, but it's basically a framework, a standard business model or standard way to build a startup. And when you talk about Digital Loop 1, we are talking about somebody building their own products from recyclable material, which are environment friendly, or products that are built from wastage, let's say the textile industry. So take the wastage from textile industry, build some interesting products, put them on a platform like this. So in the center of all digital loops, you will find a marketplace like this, a platform or a marketplace like this, where you, on one side, you list them, you build those products, list them here. And on the other side, you bring as many consumers to check out your platform or check out your marketplace and then make a purchase or do some kind of rental or something. And then there should be some way of delivering that product to the consumer. So this is basically the whole philosophy of a digital loop, and there are different aspects to it. For example, what Kirill will be talking about is Digital Loop 4, where you have a restaurant signing up on the marketplace. You build a marketplace on a web platform and an app. Restaurants sign up, they advertise their food products which are about to go waste, and the consumers check out and they buy it at a discount. And then there is a delivery mechanism. How do you get the product to the customer? So you select one of these 5 digital loops. First of all, you don't have to have a startup. You have just team up, just form a team, come with a team and select a digital loop, and then you create a startup, give us your plan, and we select you, and then you start building your marketplace. Again, the focus is very, as I said, the focus is low on the ideas. There are ready ideas, modify them, customize them, or create your new idea also from some of these ideas. And build the platform. Also building the platform, we have made it easy through Circuly. So Circuly is a platform that helps you build your marketplace. And the main challenge is these 3. Through the program, you are taken in a 4-month program where you sign up sellers or big brands and you list these products. You acquire customers who check out your marketplace, buy or rent products, and then you figure out how to implement logistics. And the biggest focus is let's start earning revenues as quickly as possible. Let's start generating revenues. And this program is heavily focused on revenues, not so much on angel investing or VC funding or something. You focus heavily on start generating revenues. So again, recapitulating the nature of the program. Webinars and seminars are important parts of, is an important aspect of this program. We will be inviting you. Where can you find out all the webinars and seminars? It's you go here to on the website. This is the website. Check out the calendar and you will find all the webinars and seminars listed. Just click on a webinar and you can check out the agenda and register for it. Similarly, seminars will also be registered on, it will be listed on this calendar. Then you have a 4-month program after you attend the webinars and seminars. 4 months. In 4 months, we select, first of all, we select 10 startups, and then they get whittled down. They get a first tranche of grant money. Total is 47,000 euros up to. So not everybody will get a 47,000 euro grant, but the best ones will. And then you'll be taken through a stage of 5. Last 5, they get the second tranche of the grant, and then the last 3 will get top 3 prizes, but first prize, second prize, and third prize. And we will help you in the last 5 or last 3 stage. At least we want to see you generate revenues, and at least even 100 euros of revenue per month. This is a huge achievement for us. So this is what we are targeting. So now I will stop sharing and pass over the baton to Kirill. And Kirill, as I introduced, was from Munch. Kirill will be here talking for about 20 minutes. He'll be giving a demo and why it's circular, why his startup Munch is a circular economy startup, how he built it, what were the challenges involved. In 20 minutes or 25 minutes, and then we'll be opening up with the questions and answers. So there is a question Q&A button at the bottom of the screen. Just type your questions over there while Kirill is speaking, and I will choose the best questions and answers from there, the most appropriate ones, and put it up to Kirill. And after Kirill, it'll be Michael who will be speaking, and I will announce Michael separately after Kirill finishes. So Kirill, over to you. I'll go on mute now.
Hi, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm Kirill, one of the founders of Munch. Can you recognize me on this picture? Yes, this was me 20 years ago. Growing up, I did not only grow passion for football and soccer and sport and competitiveness. As you can see, I was quite angry because we didn't win. But I also grew another passion, which is about sustainability, circular economy, and especially food. As you can see, I already had a sizable belly, so I was really into gastronomy. I loved food, and even to date, gastronomy is one of my favorite things. And when I grew up and I had even more ideas, I realized that there's a huge problem out there. 1/3 of all food is wasted. It's a huge problem for the environment, for the society, but also for the economy. Approximately 10% of all greenhouse gases is coming from food waste, and food waste alone could feed 2 billion people annually. And also it hurts the economy almost €1 trillion annually, which is a huge loss for everyone. Also, what we realized that hospitality businesses are losing a lot of money during opening hours because there's a lot of empty tables inside. So this is why we created Munch. Munch, basically, it's a B2C sustainable marketplace focusing on preventing food waste from restaurants, groceries, also small bakeries. And we created a mobile app so everyone can download our application. And you can also become a food saver yourself in 3 simple steps. First, you just need to find a package. You need to pay with your card up front, and you need to pick up the package in person in a dedicated time frame. So let's say there is a small bakery next to you. They have €20 worth of leftover every day, so they can create surprise packages. As you can see, every Munch package is a surprise package, so the sellers don't exactly specify what will be the content of the package. And during like 30 minutes before closing time, customers come in person and pick up the package after they pay through the app. So this is how it works. It's very simple. And we offer at least 50 to 66% discount from the original price. So it's a win-win solution for everyone indeed, because customers can save money and time, businesses can turn waste into profit, and it's also good for the environment because, as I said, again, food waste is one of the largest contributors to climate change as well. And what is our business model? So we take commission on each transaction. We take 25 to 30% commission on each transaction. We connect the sellers with the buyers. In this case, the buyer is always a user, a B2C user, simply as you or I. Everyone can download our app. But the seller, there are 3 types of seller already on our marketplace. There are the retailers like bakeries, supermarkets who has food waste, and this is mostly for takeaway. So you need to pick it up and take it away. There's the second type of seller who are the manufacturers and the wholesalers. Think about Coca-Cola, Procter & Gamble, these kind of companies. They also have waste in their warehouses, but those packages, we deliver it to your doorstep. So there is also delivery involved. And 3, there is also the restaurants who does dining promotions on our platform. And we also have revenue from partner and user subscription. Munch Market, which is the seller too, we introduced this at the beginning of the year, and as you can see, the number of orders are doubling month on month, and it's growing ever since. So this is also a very lucrative business model that we're building. So we started 5 years ago building Munch, and now we are already market leaders in 4 Central Eastern European countries, namely Hungary, Czech Republic, Slovakia, Romania. We have more than 4 million downloads. We have 400,000 monthly active users, and we have 6,000 partners. We have the biggest retailers already on the platform, famous grocery retailers, and also what I want to highlight here is they are one of the most important parts of the marketplace, because the more units they have, the more locations they can bring into our platform, the better the liquidity of the marketplace will be. Liquidity means if a user opens the app, how easy it is for them to find a supply, right? Because we are a hyper-local marketplace, meaning we don't really have delivery in 2 of the business lines, what I told you. Only Munch Market has delivery options. So because of that, the more units we have in a dense area, the better the customer experience will be. So this is why they are a very important part of our marketplace, to bring reliable brands and also brands that have a lot of locations around the country. But I will give you a case study as well, so you can imagine better how we work, for example, with Spar. From marketing perspective, we started with 0 euro marketing budget. And as you're also entrepreneurs and you will hopefully also start building new ventures, like what Vikas said at the beginning, that you should not focus on angel investment and VC money at the beginning. You should only focus on getting traction. And it was also the main goal for us at the very beginning, 5 years ago. We didn't have any cash. We had like 2,000 euro worth of student loan, and this is how we started our company. We invested all of our student loan into starting Munch. And basically, PR was one of the most important acquisition channels for marketing for us. And also just spamming our friends, to be honest. Like really, we just spent all of our friends that this is Munch, and they started using it. And when we actually realized it's something to work on, when not just our friends and our family started to use, but we suddenly realized that friends of friends started to use it. So it means they don't even know us, but they found it a very appealing solution for getting cheaper and more sustainable food options. We started in 2020, but we already raised a lot of money. So actually, we even went to the Shark Tank show in Hungary, and all of the 5 sharks in the Hungarian Shark Tank invested first time in the history of the series in Munch. And in 2022, we had our first venture money from a real VC. So as you can see, in the first year, we were laser focusing on execution, and only after then we started raising money. And in 2023, after also expanding internationally, we raised a very nice round from international investors from London, Amsterdam, namely Piton Capital, but we also raised money from FJ Labs, who has offices in New York, and they invested into more than 20 unicorns already. And this year and hopefully next year, we will raise again money to even go beyond and launch new markets, because there's a tremendous opportunity out there still. So of course we want to win Europe, and after Europe we want to scale into Northern American markets and reach 250 million euro ARR by 2030. And I could talk separately a lot about VC investing and what to focus on. I hope I will have the possibility to talk more about that in detail. But also, if you're interested in anything about angel investment or VC funding, just feel free to use the Q&A in between. And also, as I said, only in Europe, we see that there is like 630 million euro ARR potential only from customer subscriptions. And yeah, when you talk to investors and in general, when you create these pitch decks, I think it's very important to build a pitch deck from bottom up. So basically here, how we did this calculation is that we checked, okay, we have Europe. How many cities do we have with 100,000 population at least? That's the bare minimum where we expand to. Okay, we have this amount of cities. How many people is that cumulatively? We have the number. And of course, we don't calculate that everyone will use our application. So we calculated only with 8% penetration rate and also with a 50 euro annual subscription fee. And I brought you also a case study how we work with one of the largest retailers in Hungary. Actually, they are, in terms of number of locations, they are the biggest one. It's called Spar. Actually, hopefully, like some of your countries, it's already present, Spar as well, because it's a very well-known international brand. So basically, we also started with Spar with a very small pilot with around 20 stores in 3 cities, in Budapest, in Szeged, and Hódmezővásárhely. And actually, the test performed the best in the smallest city, which has like a couple of thousand of population, like 5,000 population. And after a successful pilot, we rolled out to more than 400 stores across the country, and we saved already millions of packages only from Spar. So this is the overview of the company and the story. I also have my QR code. If you want to ask me anything and you're too shy to ask in the Q&A, feel free to add me on LinkedIn. And also what I want to do now is to share my screen, and I want to show you how the app actually works on my phone. So I hope it will work out. I'm trying to share my screen now on my phone as well. Let me end the sharing here. Okay, you're seeing my screen now. Okay, right? Cool.
Right.
Amazing. So this is Munch application, as you can see. This is not how it looked like at the very beginning. And I also want to emphasize that you don't necessarily need to have a mobile app from day one, because we also didn't start with a mobile app from day one, because in most cases it's more expensive. We started with a web application, and we also use similar tools that Vikas mentioned at the very beginning. Like there are already cool templates out there that you can use and you can save a lot of money. So you don't need to waste a lot of money before validating the idea. The point is, we didn't even have the software yet, but we were already pitching to restaurant owners. We did a lot of door-to-door sales. We went on the streets, but we also did email sales. So we did everything what we could to get to restaurant owners. And only after a couple of months, when we saw, okay, it's worth to invest money into building a much, much scalable software, then we started to build the application. So, as you can see, this is the home page. We have 5 navigation bars. We have the search bar, we have Munch Market, we have wishlist, we have profile here. So here, as I said, we have 3 types of sellers. It's kind of 3 different business lines. Here we have the dining promotions at Munch Club Deals. It's only available for those people who subscribe to our platform. So here I can click on show all, and I will show you, for example, I have here 1+1 deal, which is valid to redeem in this time frame. So these are the deals. Here you can see the different types of surprise packages. We also have flowers, not just food already. But here is, for example, a grocery retailer. The pickup time frame is quite wide, so I can pick up during the whole day. And as you can see, there is 50% discount. I just click on add to cart, go to checkout, I pay with my card, and basically that's it. It's very easy to use. And we also have Munch Market. This is what I told you about, that we already work with manufacturers as well, not just retailers. So here, as you can see, there is also, like, for example, if I want to buy some pasta with a huge discount again, because as you can see, the reference price is almost 4,000 forints, but I can buy it for a bit over 2,000 forints, and it will be delivered in 1 to 3 business days. And here I can see exactly what are the in like the products that I will get, and also I can see the best before date. And it works exactly the same way. I just click on add to cart, and I can pay very easily with my card, and I just click deliver to address or pickup point. It's integrated with 3PLs, third service logistic providers. I can select what I want, and then my delivery address, and it will be delivered to my doorstep. And as you can see, we also have cashback, which is basically for if you subscribe to our service, you also get cashback, and you can use it on the platform. So more or less, this is how it works. Also, what we realized that wishlist is a very important feature. So we have a separate navigation bar here. And yeah, here you can just see your orders, subscription, you can change the settings here. Yeah, so this is basically the demo and the presentation. Maybe just a couple more ideas, like just thoughts that would really help me at the beginning when I would start a venture before handing over to the Q&A. So one, choose your allies, your co-founders and the investors in a very selective way, meaning like co-founders and investors, they will be with you for the next 10 years of your life, right? So maybe it's even more durable than some of the relationships nowadays, unfortunately. But yeah, like it's very important who are your co-founders and who are your investors. And not just from professional perspective. I think that's the minimum, of course, that they add value in some form because they have experience in this field, or maybe they have they are very well connected in for example, marketplace businesses. But also, my expectations when having a new investor, would I go out to have a drink with this person or not? And if not, then even though if they are very well, like they have a very nice background, they're very smart, maybe I would still turn down the offer from the investor, or still I wouldn't work with them, because I think having a nice personal relationship and having similar values, shared values with your investors, it's just as much important as having professional support from your investors. So I think that's one of the most important lesson, and lucky us, because I have three other co-founders from the Hungarian team, and basically we didn't knew each other that well, but we are still together. We didn't had co-founder breakup, so we are very lucky. But I saw a lot of stories when they had co-founder breakups. So really focus on that, and before starting a business together, maybe you should go out and have a vacation together, and then you can decide if you really want to spend your next 10 years with this person or not. Okay, maybe second idea, and I will be not that long. I also am really curious on your questions, and I want to make it as relevant as possible for you. Second, like recommendation, just don't overthink the ideas, because there is a lot of ideas out there. Just pick something and execute and start doing. Like, don't overthink, just do it. Like, of course, if you're not doing something medical device or something, then you have very easy, like today, starting a new business today, it's getting more and more easier. Like when we started, we didn't had Lovable, we didn't had Bolt. These are platforms that I really recommend you to also check it out, because for example, with Lovable, you can create a new landing page in like literally 5 minutes. I'm not kidding. So just use this technology that is out there, um, and just do it. Split the focus, split the responsibilities between you and your co-founder. How we did it at the beginning, that we were 4 people. I started going out on the street and did door-to-door sales. The other person started to build the product. The third person started marketing. And actually the fourth, he joined a bit later, but he started doing the legal stuff and operations. So this is how we splitted the focus, and we just started implementing from day one. And from having the idea to actually having the first revenue, even prior to having these technologies that you have out there now, we went to our first sales in 1 month. So from idea to first revenue. So this is what I would recommend, and this is the bar that I would set for you, is to really like think what do you need to have to get the first paying customer, and do everything that you can, and focus. And maybe that's the third thing, that you really need to focus, and it cannot be a side hustle, in my opinion. So if you want to build a venture, it has to be all in. And this is also kind of agreement between the founders, that we were still studying, by the way, on the university. We were sophomores in the university, but we agreed, okay, we will not go to the master's program. We'll finish bachelor, of course, online, but we will do full time, and more than full time, at least 50 hours per week. That was the bare minimum commitment for the company. So some small tips for starting a company. I hope I scared you enough to start your company. No, I'm just kidding. It's one of the most exciting stuff that happened to me in my life. So it brought me so many opportunities. I learned so much. We started 4 of us in 1 bedroom apartment, and now we're like 80 people in 4 different countries. So it's been a ride, and I really say to myself, it's still the very beginning of the journey. So yeah. So let me check the Q&As. I already see that I have some.
Kirill, can I butt in, sorry, and ask one question before I hand it over to you, and then maybe you have the freedom to choose the question. So from what I gather from the screen view of your application, is that you're not only handling food wastage, like food, like you began with food, preventing food wastage, and now you're on to adding other value propositions. So, but our program is very much focused on food wastage, preventing food wastage. So could you just tell me if you have a separate section on it, or you began with food waste, preventing food waste, and then diversified into other areas, and then you can choose the questions per your convenience.
Yeah. In my opinion, it's very important to keep the focus. So because of that, we're still like 80, like I would say even 90% of our focus is aiming at food. But we had a lot of inbound inquiries. So like some businesses actually started to sign up on our platform and they wanted to go live. So we added flower shops as well. But if you're thinking about new business ideas, there is plenty of other verticals out there. So for example, we also got a lot of opportunities in like for example, used tables or used equipment for the office. For example, there is a lot of corporates that are changing the furnishment every 3 years, and they are throwing it out. So, for example, that's also it can be a totally different business. So, I really believe that this century is all about like circular marketplaces. So, like refurbishing phones, refurbishing materials, refurbishing or second-hand clothes, right? Like you see vintage, how big are they? So I think in each category you can think about it. Okay, if you bought something, how can you give them a second life? So, but for now, still our focus is on food, and it will be on food.
Let's go to the questions. If I could pick first, Alban wrote the first question, but let me go to Chef Jets, the question number 4, and the challenges, let's say 3 challenges. And could you answer that first, and then go to the question number 1, Alban's question, and I will stay silent.
Okay. So I will answer Alban's question, right? Have you faced any difficulties to convince sellers to join Munch? Could you give us a list of reject reasons? So yeah, I mean, it's not like, even though it seems like it's a no-brainer and it's a win-win solution for everyone, still with this business model, you face a lot of objections and rejections. So yes, we face a lot of rejections even to date. Most of the reasons are like we don't have surplus, for example, even though they have. So that's number one. Number two is that they don't have capacity. Number three, I would say it's yeah, it's mostly these two, I think. But yeah, these are the typical reasons to reject.
If I can add one follow on, sorry, I'm actually misusing my privilege. So if I can add, which are the easiest customers to sign up? Customers as in restaurants, bakeries, spa, who is the easiest and say, yeah, absolutely, there is a lot of value for me, I will sign up.
Yeah, I mean I would not pick one category that is the easiest. But of course, like in general speaking, like signing up independent retailers, it's much easier than like the sales cycle. It's much shorter than signing up a large enterprise account.
Yeah, if I could point number 4,
Okay.
question number 4.
Who was your first paying customer? Or
No, question number 4 is what were some fails or challenges you faced on the way? How did you handle them, and what were the lessons?
I mean, we are facing challenges and failures every day, but that's quite important part of our culture at the company. We created a chat on Microsoft Teams and we named it, yeah, maybe it's not that politically correct, but yeah, fuck up and learn, or mess up and learn. So basically, we created the chat to really encourage people to share their stories. What did they mess up and what did they learn from it, right? Because that's a very important perspective that we incorporated. But like exact examples, I think you can do a lot of, like in terms of hiring, I think hiring is one of the most important part of the business, of this business, especially that it's like operative heavy, and you need to have feet on the foots on the ground, and you need to have great salespeople. So we had a lot of failures and bad hires, and not necessarily because the people was bad, but we also didn't had like an ideal candidate profile for the colleagues. So at the very beginning, when you start hiring new people, you need to be very careful and you need to be very conscious who you want to hire, what experience, what skills, what values. So you need to write this down before you start the process. And I think that was the most painful and one of the most important learnings.
If I could select the question, the number 2, what were the most effective value propositions for signing up partners, and for the clients, like the consumers, the people who do the purchasing? So, and then we'll go to the Alma's question.
Yeah, I mean, for partners, it's mainly door to door, I would say. Like we were on the street and we were acquiring ourselves partners. For customers, it's really like at the very beginning, it was our personal network. We just sent it out to everyone, social media, and we tried to be loud about it. And we did a lot of guerrilla marketing at the beginning. So this is what I would say.
But the value proposition for the consumer who is buying from your platform is that they are getting a huge discount.
Yeah. And not just the discount, but it's also like discovering new places. Yeah. So
Good point.
this is what I would highlight as well.
Now going to Alma's question, very nice case study, well done. Who was your first paying customer? And you said it in 1 month you were able to sign up somebody. So,
Yeah, we had already 4 partners at the beginning. As I said, I already started pitching this idea without having anything. So, I mean, anything like software-wise, I had only a PowerPoint. um, yeah, I started within my comfort zone, which was like the canteen where I previously worked at. So I actually knew the staff because I was eating there every day for having lunch menus. So I knew their menu, I knew their operations. So it was quite personalized pitch, and it really helped to land the first client because I already had some confidence. I knew the place. And of course, like being good in sales, it starts with getting to understand your client. So I think that that was a very key moment because, yeah, it also taught me that, yeah, if I know the client, if I do a small research before start pitching, that can really improve the conversion rate of and the successfulness of the pitch.
and that was a restaurant, did you say, where you were
Yeah,
eating
we
almost
had,
every day?
yeah, mainly restaurants at the beginning.
And if you don't mind my asking, like what was getting wasted over there, and what did they want to like get it out before the end of the day, or like before
Like
it
it's
could
like
get
typical
wasted?
food that they have in the shelves, or it was daily menus.
We have, let's say, 3 or 4 minutes more. So we'll take up Gavrilo's question. What do you think? I mean, you can take it up. Kirill.
Yeah, what do you think is the good way to advertise yourself on that field, especially when you start and it's good amount of competitors? So if there's a lot of competition in one market, like I think the way to go is to differentiate yourself. So like exactly copying everything that they do, it's maybe not the best thing. You need to be unique in some way. You need to learn what is the pain point of the customers, and maybe to build on that, you can differentiate yourself. Um, and to advertise yourself, you mean you advertise yourself as a like building a personal brand as a founder, or more about, I guess it's more about the business itself, right? So um, advertising yourself, yeah, we try to be loud in the PR because also like the problem itself, food waste, it's kind of a topic that can everyone relate to. And because of that, we did some research in Hungary and we tried to provide useful information for the press so they can write news about it. And also we include our own company in that we are tackling this problem. So that was a clever way to get in the news. Yeah, I mean, in general, journalists like to write about popular things, so try to get some angle on your business, how it can be interesting for a lot of people or for a certain niche, and based on that, prepare some material and send it out to journalists.
I think we will thank you, Kirill, for your presence, and hoping you will be associated with our program further on. Fully.
Thank you.
So we will thank you, Kirill, for the wonderful presentation and your patience in answering all these questions.
Yeah.
I will now move to Michael, who will be presenting Circuly, and not just Circuly, how it helps create other startups, but he'll also give an overview of lots of different, maybe at least 3 circular economy startups that Circuly has enabled, and what each brings to the table, what value proposition each provides, how they are doing, and so on. So over to you, Michael, if you're here. Yes, would you like to say something?
Let's start.
Yeah.
Thank you very much again for the opportunity. And if you want, I'm also on Instagram or LinkedIn. You can find on my name. Feel free to reach out. And I hope you will start more and more businesses.
Cool. Thanks, Kirill.
Thank you.
Very, very interesting to learn more about Munch. Crazy what you've built there on your side, and amazing how you are helping the circular economy grow healthy. Thanks also, Vikas, for inviting me to the webinar. About me, I'm Michael. I'm Circuly's sales manager and part of the leadership team. And as Vikas already mentioned, Circuly is basically a subscription management platform. So we are slightly different to what Kirill is doing. So Kirill actually facilitates the opportunity or the offering between a retailer or grocery store or similar things and the customer. Circuly, however, is more of a platform that runs in the background of things. We also strongly focus on physical products as a service. Maybe you've heard about product as a service, product subscriptions, durable product rentals, and stuff like this. That is all what's falling in the realm of where Circuly is used heavily. As Vikas was asking me to show a few examples of specific customers of ours, so you get a better understanding of where Circuly can be used, I would like to also share my screen and give you a quick tour of a few references. And later on, I will also show you how Circuly is being used by these clients. Vikas, can you give me a quick thumbs up? Do you see my screen right now? Yes, okay, perfect. So here we're looking at one of our clients. They're called Schmidt. They do offer physical products in the industry of baby goods. So everything that's kids related, they offer on a subscription because they said, and that was their mission of the founders. This is a startup actually. They launched with us 5 years ago, and the founders became dads. There were 2 guys. They each became a dad, and then they said, "Hey, actually, it's super stupid for us to purchase a stroller, to purchase a tram, to purchase a kid's bike because our kids will only use it for a specific period of time, and then we crowd our basements, our garage with products that we don't use anymore." And selling them again on secondhand marketplaces and so on becomes quite tedious. So they said, why don't we rent out these products and offer this to other parents on a subscription basis? So what they launched is Schmidt. You can go here and you can choose between a Riese and Müller bike to carry your kids around in a bike, a baby hammock, kids bikes, strollers, and so on. And the landing page that you see right now here, that is basically running on a shop system. So let it be a WooCommerce, a Shopify, a headless shop system, something that guides the customer through the customer journey. And this is probably not the best example because it's out of stock, but let's go with the Boogaboo with a stroller. So here I can choose as a customer if I want to go for 3, 6, 12, or 24 months of a minimal rental duration. Each duration comes at a different price. And as soon as I say, I want to add this to the cart, what you see now is the first touch point of Circuly. Everything up until the add to cart event, that is still running on as I said before, Shopify, WooCommerce, and so on. And then as soon as it's in the cart, the Circuly journey starts. I say, I want to check this out. I will be forwarded to the Circuly white label hosted checkout. So the checkout is also Circuly. as well as the backend that runs the subscription. We track the asset, we manage the payments, we do the email communication. So everything that becomes operational tedious, that's covered by Circuly, and that's where we come in. Another example of a great product as a service model is Love Espresso. They offer coffee machines in UK, in all over Europe actually by now. They expanded with us. Also a startup that launched with us 2 years ago, and they outgrew their capacity so quickly that they said, hey, let's enter into new markets. Let's enter into the Euro currency and the Euro regions and grow beyond just the UK, just Britain. They offer coffee machines, grinders, coffee beans, so also consumable products through Circuly, and bring this to customers. The coffee machine itself is quite expensive, so many people would probably avoid buying this upfront without having tested it first. So you basically subscribe to the coffee machine and the grinder at a cost of £75 per month. You get the coffee machine, you get the grinder to grind the coffee beans, but you also get the coffee beans on a recurring delivery. So every month you get your kilo or 2 kilograms of coffee delivered to your home, and you can use this. If you ever decide you want to purchase this product, you can do that in the Circuly environment. You don't have to return the product. You don't have to create a new order. You can do everything in the Circuly environment. And I think this is also a great example of home appliances as a service or product as a service in general. Now, since Vikas asked me for multiple examples, we also have consumer electronics. To keep it short, we serve more than 17 different industries on 19 different countries across the globe, in 5 continents. So we are globally spread with our solution. And basically, I believe there's almost nothing that we haven't seen on a subscription yet. But what runs really well on subscriptions are baby goods, consumer electronics, everything, phone, computer, screens, TVs related, everything in that regard is super well running. You might have heard about Grover from Germany and environments, Swappy and other brands that are running physical product subscriptions for the consumer electronics environment. Super attractive. And additional services are, as I said, home appliances, but also medical devices or mobility industry, where you rent out scooters, bikes. Kids' bikes are a merger of baby goods and mobility, like this is both. These are all running really well. And I think when we're looking at the Albanian market, it might make sense to either enter into an industry for physical product subscriptions that's either super attractive for consumers, so topics that people really like to use, but are maybe worried to invest the upfront payment or the upfront cost for it. I can imagine that an iPhone 16 costing 1,200 euros or more. I don't know what's in this is in Albanian currency. I need to do the calculation, but these products are oftentimes desired by many people, but not everyone wants to afford this upfront. So why don't they rent this for, I don't know, 60 euros instead of paying 1,200? And if at a certain point they feel like they want to purchase that, they can still do that. What we've heard from big brands like Decathlon and others, they say that they see that also the order value increases based on the rental business model, because people are probably coming with an intention to buy something. They see there's a rental option, so they had a budget in mind, and they're willing to spend more because they don't need to pay the upfront cost. So they add more products to the basket, and then the contract value extends drastically. That's at least what we've heard from our customers. Now, you might be wondering, does this actually fly? Like, is this business model just a great idea, or is this actually producing revenue? And to be fair, as I mentioned before, StroMe started with us 5 years ago. I'm not allowed to drop exact numbers, but they are far in the 6 digits per month in recurring revenue. So they do produce revenue, that's for sure. Rocket Espresso, as I said, they launched just 2 years ago, and only in the UK. They're in the far 5 digits. Bike Club also, I think it's a 5-year-old startup they launched in the UK first. Now they cover, I think, 7 countries in Europe as well. They are also in almost 7 digits per month in recurring revenue, and other brands are also growing drastically. Why am I showing you these brands? Because they are not the manufacturer. And I think, I'm not sure who of you here in this meeting is a manufacturer themselves. If that's the case, there are plenty of examples like Decathlon, Riese and Müller, who is the biggest e-bike manufacturer in Europe, and many other brands that are running subscriptions as well. But for you, I can imagine the most important topic or question is, how can I, as a single founder or as an early founder, enter into these markets without owning all the assets that are needed for this? So I can imagine buying 10 resale Müller bikes easily cost you 70,000 euros. So how can you offer a subscription business model for this without investing to purchase all these assets? And this is where I created a few slides. Let me quickly guide you through how you could potentially start this business model. And then you can tell me if that all makes sense. I hope you're seeing my presentation right now. It's just 3 slides. So the question is, get started in the leanest and most risk-free way, right? So you don't need to own the product. You don't maintain the product. You're just the facilitating party of it. What this means basically is, go out, go to retailers, go if possible to manufacturers, but I think retailers is the easier catch. Just as Kirill said, large organizations, large enterprises, they have really long sales cycles. If you want to have a quick go-to-market approach, go to retailers, some bike manufacturers, some bike retailers in your region, or some consumer electronics stores in your region, and go to them and say, hey, if you like, we can partner on this business model. We facilitate the website, we facilitate the customer journey, everything that I showed you at Stromy, for example. You own the product, we get you the contract is owned by you as the startup, but you give the retailer or the store, whoever you're partnering with, a commission. So basically like a revenue share agreement. They own the product, the customer goes to them and picks up the product. They get the product back at a certain time. After 2 years of rentals, they might be getting this back. They can repair the product if they like in their workshop or wherever, and they can rent it a second time. They earn recurring revenue by not doing anything but handing out the product, and you facilitate the customer journey, you facilitate the payment plan. All of these things are covered by you. And this is like a really low hanging fruit, also a low asset heavy business model and starting point for this. So basically what you would have to do to start such a business model is to prove that subscriptions work for your market. Find the first retailers. First of all, find the product that you want to offer. Like I recommend having a passion for this, makes it easier to sell this online and also in physical stores. Select the right retailers to provide those products through. In best case, 2, 3, 4 different retailers that want to opt in for this service. And then you offer the e-commerce, the website, the landing page for this, facilitating the rentals. The retailer ships directly to the consumer, or the consumer comes and picks up the product from the retailer nearest them. And then you manage the subscriptions through Circuly. That's basically the ideal situation to start lean and cost efficient. However, if you outgrow this stage in a year or 2 and it goes really successful, there's nothing speaking against purchasing products, making good deals with manufacturers, getting the products on a payment plan, basically, that you rent them from the manufacturer or buy them in installments, something like this, so you generate more margins or higher margins. However, this is the leanest and quickest way to market, I would assume. And basically, why does physical products make sense? You get like the product take-back programs. That is really efficient. You give products a second life. Basically, that's why it's a circular economy opportunity. You have a rent-to-own option, and you can do the refurbishment and repair. I mean, that is the big push for this. There's a product that has been produced once, and it will serve multiple clients, most certainly, until it is end of life, after probably 6 or 7 rental cycles, depending on the duration and depending on the usage. You might want to recycle certain parts or sell it at a second-hand marketplace, but you serve 6 individual customers with the same product, which plays heavily into the circular economy. Last but not least, I showed the why, and why would you start, and why is this business model such an attractive use case? But the question is also, how is it managed, and how can Circuly serve me in this regard? And this is where I would like to jump back into my screen and show you quickly, after the checkout, when the product is basically subscribed and rented by someone, the order is pushed back to the shop system. Therefore, we can also facilitate and inform the retailer that this is the product that is being rented by Michael Schmidt. He will come in the next week and pick it up. Also, the order is pushed into Circuly. So that is basically the Circuly solution. The heart of the Circuly solution is the Circuly hub, where you manage all the orders, where you see all the assets. You can manage the return and repair of things. That can also be managed by your retailers, by the way, by your partners. We also facilitate all the invoices and payment plans, and you have an overview about all your customers. So you basically see, okay, Travis Baker is basically a customer. He created those 5 orders. 1 is active. The other 4 are still pending. He had that many subscriptions. He generated 3,000 euros of revenue. He's a customer since 7 months, and all sorts of things. So we facilitate a broad variety of things related to the operational side of things. Your customers also get their own login. In here, they can manage their subscriptions. They can say, actually, you know what? I love this laptop, but it's not serving me well anymore. I need a stronger laptop. I need a stronger product for this. And then you can basically offer them to upgrade or downgrade to other products in here for a higher price, keeping the customer journey as smooth as possible and also reducing churn as much as possible. Also, they can opt in to say, actually, I love it. It serves me super well. I don't want to rent this anymore. I want to purchase this. Rather get them as a customer who purchased your products than losing the customer for good. So even though this might be an exit option for the product to get out of the balance sheet of your retailer, if they allow this, you can basically set up retail prices and offer purchase opportunities as well. And what we also facilitate is if you have happy customers, they can refer you. They can send a link, a personal referral code to friends and family, and they can become customers. This way, you can grow your customer base without spending all too much market expenses, ads, spend too much budget on ads, on Google Ads or other platforms by creating an organic growth rate for your clients. I think that was a really long monologue, but I hope that explained a little bit why physical product subscriptions are such an attractive business model. If you like, you can also go to our website, circuly.io, go to the customer section and take a look at the customer overview. Here you see all sorts of different business models that are powered by Circuly, different brands that are using Circuly for their subscription business model. And in here, you can also see all the different industries that we're serving our solution to. And yeah, I hope that was helpful.
Michael, thank you. Thank you. It was a brilliant presentation. I was getting a feeling I'm listening in the 1.5x mode, you know, that's what I'm used to. And, you know, but brilliant job, Michael. Thank you. So, you know, this is what you're showing right now, that people should do their homework and look at the different models and get ideas. And this is exactly what DLA proposes to do, that people listen to the webinars and seminars and then do their homework, check out different startups that are existing, and then find the best product and the best business model that suits them and suits Albania, and then start and launch it and start selling, because companies like Circuly enable that IT solution, so you don't have to spend too much time building that tech solution. Yes. Not too much. So this is the credo of DLA, that don't spend too much time on the idea, spend time on doing your homework and deciding what is where is your passion, what will sell faster in Albania or not. And then second is, don't spend too much time building the technology, be quick, and then keep the maximum time to sell, sell to the customers and the consumers. So when I say customers, they are the partners, the retailers, the distributors, the manufacturers. I'm calling them customers. The consumers, the individual buyers who come to the platform. So I have 2 questions here I noted from Shevchet. Before I let you go into them, could I ask, put in one question of mine, Michael? So could you just point out, go back to your screen, share your screen, and let's say Bugaboo case or the coffee machine case. There are, I think, on the left panel, you see certain available brands, and people can choose which brand. And these brands are the ones that the startup has tied up with. And the startup doesn't own any inventory. And the tie-up agreement probably includes the moment somebody rents it, the inventory is managed by the inventory delivery, also is managed by the manufacturer or retailer. If you could just show that portion, please.
Yes, I can. I also opened up another screen for you to share. So as you saw at Stromi, they partner with many different brands. You can either select here on their website based on product
Pardon
type.
me for interrupting. Could you increase the zoom, like size? Yeah. I mean, the zoom in, please? Yeah, that's better.
Cool. No worries. So yeah, you can basically filter for product type, for the age group of your kids, basically, or the brands, as you see here. And I think that's what you're referring to, Vikas. So they partner with lots of brands. They have exclusive partnerships with them to certain extents, but they also show to them, hey, this is a really successful business model. We are running really well on these products. And why don't you join our mission to make the world more circular? And they do partner with them. To be fair, at the very beginning, I think Bugaboo was the first and also the only partner for them for the first year. They partnered with Bugaboo and a few retailers, but from manufacturing side of things, Bugaboo was the first partner. By now, 5 years later, it's almost impossible to talk to any kids industry related brand and ask them about Stromy, and they don't know about Stromy. Like Stromy is like the flagship in this industry, like a shooting star. It went as far. And this is a pretty interesting story. Bugaboo and Stromy both simultaneously launched a rental business model. So Bugaboo as a manufacturer launched also 5 years ago together with Circuly. However, Stromy was so rapid in growth and also go-to-market approaches differently to a manufacturer who needs to align with 20, 30 different stakeholders internally to get things to the street on the market. So Stromy outpaced Bugaboo heavily, and Bugaboo later on decided that they will stop. And I try to make this in English. Let's see if I can manage. 1 second. I hope that works. Yeah. So basically, Bugaboo stopped their rental business and said, if you want to rent a stroller through us, go to our partner Stromy. So they even went as far in saying, we stop this business model internally at Bugaboo, and instead we market Stromy on this. And so basically, when you go into the Bugaboo website and you say, I want to go for the Bugaboo Flex, which was the original name of their rental business, they now basically explain here why this is a cool business model and why it makes sense. And if you want to start your subscription, go to Stromy and discover the options that they offer. I think that is a perfect use case and a perfect reason of why startups are not basically competing with manufacturers. They are a great addition and they complement each other really well. Yeah, so that is one of the examples. The same goes for Bike Club. Bike Club now partnered with Academy. I don't have the direct link, but it's actually pretty cool. On the Academy website, you can say, I want to purchase an Academy bike, or I want to rent through Bike Club. And then you are forwarded from the Academy landing page, from their web shop to the Bike Club web shop. And you see basically here how you could rent an Academy bike. So that is actually brilliant. To be honest, it might take more than just 2 months to get to that stage, because manufacturers and OEMs, they require basically a success story or like a proof of concept from you. But that's why I say it's a lot quicker if you partner with retailers from the region to actually prove the model, prove the business case, have a proof of concept, and then pitch this proof of concept to enterprises.
Thank you, Michael. I will let you take the questions yourself. There are 2 only for now. And please, I'll ask the audience to please ask as many questions. We have time, and I will maybe take only 30 minutes in the end. So we have time.
Yeah, perfect. So yeah, the first question is, do you have insights into how they cover their assets, damages, and where? Do they have insurance deposit amounts locked, or just the agreement protection? That is a very valid question. So there's a security measurement that we implement. So you can go within, for consumer electronics, for example, we heavily recommend doing some verification on the person directly. So for example, an ID verification process to reduce the risk for fraud. Besides that, many of our clients at a certain point could definitely go with an insurance company in the background. So they basically say you either go and insurance the product between the startup and the insurancer, or you offer this as an add-on to the client that they can opt in for the insurance themselves. If they opt in for the insurance, their liability is reduced. So for example, they only pay 10% for damages on the product and 90% is covered by the insurance. That is kind of like an opt-in option. Depending on what you're worried about, it makes sense to either insurance the product yourself and add the cost of the insurance to the monthly fee without mentioning that. Just say it's included. That's what many do, or make it optional. For heavy, for goods and assets that have a very intensive price tag. So for example, we also support car subscriptions and resimilar bikes, they also cost 7,000 euros upwards. They do opt in for deposits, security deposits. So they charge the security deposit if the product is returned in a good condition, or if the product is purchased later on, they refund the deposit accordingly to the customer. So this is how they manage damages and asset wear. In terms of the other question, I don't think I mentioned that goods for women are the most successful subscription model. However, if you are interested in the industry that relates closer to women, I don't know where that was where the misunderstanding was, but we also see that the fashion industry is also taking up speed in terms of subscriptions. So we, for example, support a customer in California, LA. It's probably not representative for the European market, but they offer a high-end fashion subscription where you pay somewhere between $300 and $1,000 per month, and then you can basically access high-end fashion in this clothes, where you get like 10 pieces per month, and you can swap them on a monthly basis and have always like cool clothes. Their clothes, however, are highly expensive. They cost like a t-shirt 2,000 euros, like LA stuff, right? Like Hollywood. The industry is different there. But also in Europe, we see with brands like Lena Fashion or Wear is also a name that comes up often. They do offer clothes as a subscription as well. Alma, I see.
If you allow me,
yes.
Just to add to what Shafshat wrote. So you said baby products are really popular.
Yes.
And could you repeat those, top three, the cell phone related products?
Actually, I can also share a slide. My marketing manager just created this one for me for today, where we basically mentioned the most common, most successful subscription industries that we are active in. Here we go. I hope you can see that. So basically what we power most is medical and health equipment, eyewear, kids and baby goods, consumer electronics, leisure equipment, and hobby products like golfing equipment, bikes, home trainers, and stuff like this. Mobility, that includes kids' bikes, adult bikes, e-mobility, cars, scooters, motorcycles, everything related to mobility, that is a big push. Power and construction tools, and furniture and home appliances. So even furniture like couches, tables, stuff like this, but also dishwashers, fridges, all of these things have seen a high uptake in terms of subscriptions in the past 3 to 5 years. And brands like BSH, like Bosch and Siemens household devices, they offer subscriptions, as well as many startups across Europe. Cool. Does it answer the question? I hope so. Looking into the Q&A, who is setting the monthly rental price for every product? That is basically your calculation. You set this up on your shop system. So you set up the product on, let's say, Shopify backend. You say, I want to offer this bike. This bike comes in 4 different variants. Each variant comes at a specific price. What we can help you with is basically best practices, what we've seen across different industries, how much they charge for those subscriptions and the different intervals. What we oftentimes see is a short minimum duration, meaning a high flexibility for the end consumer, comes at a higher cost than a long commitment, giving you planability and therefore a reduced price for the customer, for the end consumer. However, we see that the maximum charge is somewhere between 10 to 12% of the purchasing price. In terms of rental prices, this usually relates to a 1 month or 3 month minimum duration, and goes as low as, depending on your calculation, somewhere between 3.5, which is really little, or more like 5% of the purchasing price for long-term commitment, meaning 2 years or something like this. It completely changes when you're looking at B2B, renting out, let's say, heavy machine industry products to B2B manufacturers, but I think that is not the core focus here. That is usually what we see manufacturers offer to their clients directly.
Kirill, I see that you're typing an answer. Would you like to butt in and actually speak to the audience, or because it says that you've been typing for quite some time?
No, sorry.
Okay, that must have been a mistake. Sorry. Yeah, okay, thank you. if I can go back to Michael. Michael, maybe, until we get some more questions, if you can stay around for 5 to 10 more minutes, please.
Sure.
We would like we would like the audience to, get all their questions resolved, please.
Yeah.
So one question, so could you repeat that part? So when it comes to building the solution, they use Shopify or some other software. But where does, what does Circuly do? And could you repeat that part? So what does it help you manage? So payment or it's like a CRM. Could you just, maybe the three most relevant or the biggest value propositions of building it with Circuly?
Yes, sure. Can do so. So
And also the
basically,
white labeling, please. That's important.
Yeah. Let me see if I find another slide for this to start first. Let me go back. It's not the right direction. Yeah. So Circuly comes with 4 components, right? The first component and also the first touch point between your shop system where you create the customer journey. So we don't interfere with your shop system. You create a Shopify instance or WooCommerce instance or Shopware instance. That's really up to you, wherever you feel comfortable with or wherever you feel like you have some experience with. You create this shop system, you create the customer journey, how the customer enters onto your product detail page, how they see your pricing, and also what products you want to offer. Circuly then integrates with the checkout to your shop system. So everything up until the checkout is still managed by your e-commerce. And as soon as the checkout comes in, that's where Circuly comes in. We get the order data, we get the product data via our API integration. That's very seamless built. It's nothing that the customer experiences. It's also white labeled. There's only a tiny little powered by Circuly button at the bottom of the checkout, but the rest, like it has your colors, your logos, everything that the customer feels comfortable and understands that they're in the right environment. So they build trust to your brand. Once the checkout is completed, the order and all the customer details are pushed into the Circuly hub. That's what I showed you before, where you manage the whole order input, meaning you can assign a serial number to the subscription. So you know what asset is with what client, where is that asset at what time, how much revenue did you generate with each individual asset. But it also helps us automate all the email communication. So you don't have to go into an SMTP or email provider and create all transactional emails. They're all covered in Circuly already. You just put your branding in there and we can take care of the rest. They're all event triggered. Also, additionally to that, all the monthly recurring payments. This can become quite tedious, especially if you do run it outside of Circuly, because there might be payment fails, for example. There might be that the payment service provider can't process the payment. They don't receive the money. Then the question is, how often do you want to retry to collect the money before there's an email reminder going out to your client? Like there are many different use cases that that we automate and get rid of you, so you don't get headaches from managing all these edge cases that come up during a rental period. Then there's also the customer portal, which is basically when we go on the Stromy website, there's an icon at the top of the website that says manage my subscriptions or log into my profile. When you click on that, it loads the Circuly customer login, the Circuly customer portal, in which they can manage their own subscriptions. And then last but not least, we have a module called Circuly Store Connect, which is basically allowing your retailers, that's actually pretty brilliant. If you have retailers that use your service, they can get their own login and just create orders for you. So meaning that even if your e-commerce is running fully autonomous, if a customer goes to your retailer in your local region and says, "Hey, actually, I don't want to purchase the iPhone 16. I want to rent it. Is there a possible way?" They can log into your white labeled point of sale module and create a rental right there through you. So you basically process again all the payments and everything. They're just skipping the e-commerce experience. They directly go into the checkout and confirm that they want to rent now the iPhone 16. They opt in for the insurance package that you offer, and you get the customer and all the info that's needed to process the subscription. And your retailer gets a commission kickback for creating a new customer for you.
Thank you, Michael. Wonderful. So let me just take 2 more questions. One is from Esmeralda, one of the panelists, and she's asking, what are the biggest communication challenges you face when presenting your business model in countries with different cultures and purchasing habits, like from Circuly? from Circuly
Yeah.
when you are talking to other people? When you're presenting Circuly to, you know, white label or something.
Yeah. So from Circuly side of things, it is not so hard to sell Circuly, to be honest. The business model is taking up really well in many different regions. So for us, it is more like the question is that a strategic decision for companies to launch into the rental model or to the circular economy, or is that not on their agenda? But I think if you're referring more to your situation, launching a rental business model on your side and entering into new cultures and new environments, I do think that is to be considered. Like, what is the mentality? Do people like to own? That being said, we've heard that very often, that people say in our culture, in our country, it's not really a thing. People would like to own their car instead of renting it. We've heard that very often, but as soon as the first one is launching, others are following, because they see, okay, there is the wish for consumers to have always the best product, always the highest quality of product, always the latest product that is on the market. And many can't afford this on purchases. So they would rather pay for the usage of these products rather than purchasing those. And that is basically what we see across all countries, let it be Central Europe, South Africa. We even have customers in South Africa. They have also a very interesting culture there. But they also say people would like to opt in for the product, like they would like to use the product, but they can't afford it. So they rent the product rather than purchasing those. And I think that's the communication behind this thing. You don't have to pay hundreds and hundreds of dollars or euros to get your hands on the product. You can start really small with like 5% of the purchasing price and get your hands on those. And I think, Alban, your last question was, how do you position Circuly? Oh, sorry, you go.
Yeah, sorry, Michael. Yeah, before you answer this question, I mean, I will add to Alban's question, which are, if you could also name some of the, I mean, if you can, or I leave it to you. Like, what are similar solutions available in the market? And then you can say, how is Circuly better, or how do you position the value?
Very good point. Very good point. So subscriptions for physical products, that's quite new, I would say. Subscriptions in general, like a Netflix subscription, a Spotify subscription, that has been on the market for tens of years, basically. And there are multiple solutions out there that help you manage recurring payments. That is a not to be neglected part, but it's more the simple part of things. And you find probably 20 different solutions that can help you with the billing of subscriptions. And there might be solutions like a recharge or a charge fee or parcel or sealed. Like, I can name probably 20 different tools that we compete against in certain understandings. But these subscriptions are great for managing payments. They do that really well. Some are brilliantly made for consumable products like recharge. I've heard and I've seen as well. They manage like coffee bean subscriptions really well, where recurring orders are coming in every month or every 2 weeks or something like this. And with those, it's great that they are existing, because they're also to some extent sometimes cheaper than Circuly. However, where we do position ourselves really well and what differentiates us heavily from these solutions is that we focus on physical durable goods that are not happening on a rescheduled sending. So you don't want to receive a bike every month when you pay your invoice. You don't want to receive a new bike. You're paying for a service, and the product is located at a certain location, at a certain address. And managing that comes really challenging for a recharge, a charge fee, and all other solutions, because they never focused on durable goods on a subscription. So it's more like digital services or consumable products that they power really well. And that's the value proposition between Circuly and those brands. That being said, there are of course also other solutions also for short-term rental. We do manage short-term rentals. For example, Decathlon, maybe you are familiar with the brand Decathlon. They are offering short-term and long-term rentals. That's why they decided for Circuly. Only short-term rentals. There might be other solutions that are a little bit more easy to use for this model, because you're only expecting one transaction, and when the product is returned, then the rental is over. Let's say like someone wants to rent a bike for a weekend, but not longer. there might be other solutions like a Twice Commerce. I think Vikas, you also have a meeting with them in the next weeks. As far as I know, they are really well used for short-term rentals, which is not our core focus. So yeah, that's where we differentiate and we facilitate. But the question is, do you need an robust and advanced solution like Circuly for specific use cases? If you do for long-term rental, then I would say 100% you need a solution like Circuly, and there's almost no competition to that business model, so to that solution that facilitates this business model. If you're going for only coffee bean subscriptions or a short-term rental of products, then there might be plenty of other solutions on the market.
Michael, wonderful answer. Wonderful. It is easy for a generalist like me to understand this. And so Twice Commerce is coming in our webinar 3. They're similar to Circuly, although with distinctive value propositions. So you're saying that they are better at short-term rentals, whereas Circuly is used for durable goods and long-term rentals. Can you also say if there is a feature either via the application or via the website where you mention the location, where to pick up, or how do you pick up, how is it to be delivered, or reminders that okay, it's a delivery date is due, you should do this, you should hand it over to this person. So if you could mention about the return aspect.
Yeah. So for deliveries and pickups, that's what Riese & Müller is doing really well. Our customer that do high-end e-bikes on a subscription. Basically, what they offer on their website is that you type in your postal code or like the region of your address, and then they filter. And sorry, this is in German. They only offer their service in Germany as of now. And then we basically filter what is the closest retailer to your location. And then you can choose this retailer as the destination for the pickup. We then automate the notification. So there's an email going out to Feinräder in this regard, like the retailer that they know in the next week. Customer Michael will come and pick up his Riese & Müller Carry Vario bike, and therefore they can hand this out after doing a ID verification check on my details that I give in the checkout. That is one option. An alternative option would be to tell your retailers that they can also drop ship this. That's depending on your choice. If you want to do only pickup, Riese & Müller wants to save on logistic costs, and they want the customer to walk to the retailer and to actually go into the store, so that the retailer can also upsell different products. They don't just rent out the bike. The bike is owned by Riese & Müller. The bike is owned, and also the payments are coming to Riese & Müller. But the retailer now can go into the customer and say, do you have a helmet? Do you have a kid seat? Do you have a locker for your bike? So they can upsell accessories, and that's why they say we don't want to deliver only, we want them to pick up only. Now in regards to the return, if I
can interrupt, yeah. Riese & Müller is the manufacturer of the bike. It's the brand name of the bike.
Yes. Riese & Müller is correct. They are a large manufacturer. They make more than €1 billion of revenue per year, and they offer their bikes also on subscriptions. As you can see here, the retail price of this bike is €7,500, and they say many customers don't want to spend €7,500 without testing the bike first, or without knowing will I actually use it. So they offer 4 different payment durations. 6 months come at a price of €219 per month. 12 months is cheaper, 18 months even cheaper, and 24 months is the cheapest option that they offer for this bike. So instead of paying €7,500 for this high-end cargo bike, I pay now €139 per month. I can use it for 2 years. At the end of the 2 years, I can decide if I want to continue subscribing. Then I don't need to do anything. Circuly just renews the subscription on a monthly basis. So it's just extending by 1 month at a time. Or the customer can go into the customer login, which is also, when we go back to Riese & Müller, you see this login button at the very top of the screen. If I click this login button, I am forwarded from the website of Riese & Müller to the login of the customer self-service environment. What you see right now looks like Riese & Müller. It's powered by Circuly. So if I would be a customer, I would type in my email address, the one that I used to check out with and to receive all the communication. And then once I add this, I receive a one-time password sent to me via email. And then with a 6-digit PIN, I log into my dashboard. And the dashboard, the customer login, looks then something similar to this, just in your colors and your logos. And in here, you can decide, okay, I'm now renting for 2.5 years. I'm done using this product. I might upgrade or downgrade to a different product. So I want to cancel this subscription. And when you cancel the subscription, it triggers in Circuly, in the Circuly hub, it triggers the email sending of the return instruction email. So everything in here is, as I said before, automatically event triggered. So the return instructions are sent from Circuly. They can be made in the look and feel of your solution. So basically in here, you give specific pickup information or how to send this back via carriers. You can make it look and feel, as I said, on HTML and CSS. You can also use ChatGPT to code this for you if you like, if you have a specific corporate identity when you launch. Yeah, and basically based on this, the product can be returned. We can integrate with the parcel, return list, SendCloud, ShipCloud to create return labels as well. If the customer doesn't want to drop this at the retailer, but want to send this back via carrier. So that is happening. If the product is then returned, maybe to finish this explanation, if the product is actually returned, you or the retailer are supposed to mark this product as returned so that we stop future recurring payments. We don't do that upon cancellation because we've seen that way too often that sometimes customers cancel, but they don't return for the next 3 months. And then the question is who's paying for the months in between cancellation and return? So if it's not returned, we reactivate the subscription until it's returned. When returned, we delete future recurring payments, and then either you or your retailer can go through the repair questions. So you can set up product-specific questions that you want to have answered. It's kind of like a Q&A session when going through the repair. Is the product complete? Yes or no? Any parts damaged? If you say yes, the bike came back with a flat tire, we need to replace the flat tire. You do that. You say now the condition is as good as new or good. You mark it and grade the product. And then the question is this product rentable again? If you say yes, we also update your shop system and say stock +1. So the next user can actually rent this product. And on the last slide, you can basically tell us what did it cost you to maintain the product. And then we basically assign these repair costs to the asset for your calculations. However, we don't directly charge these repair costs because we've seen it way too often that our partners, the startups or the companies that we work with, they say the repair is included. That's why we charge an additional fee on a monthly basis. However, there are probably certain aspects where someone returns a completely destroyed product. You can't rent this anymore, so they damaged it so heavily, you have to write it off your balance sheet, so it's not usable anymore. Then you can go back to the order and say you want to charge the return of a destroyed product and make an off-session payment. Since we have the payment token, you can directly charge this from their credit card, direct debit, whatever payment method you offer them to use. I hope that explains this a little.
Great. Michael, thank you so much for your time. And now I will summarize the program in the next 30 minutes and take a few questions about the program and the design and who can participate and so on.
Cool.
So you can go on mute or you can, I'm totally fine, even if you want to leave and do other things. So totally, I'm hoping to see you again associated with the program in some form. And so I really thank you for your time. So, okay, let's summarize the program we have talked about. This for us, getting these case studies was the most important point, but let me, in the next 10 minutes, summarize a few essential aspects of the program. I'll be sharing the screen and actually alternating between my own presentation and the website, because the website has been very beautifully designed to give you all the possible information. And I'll just help you navigate through the website a bit. So as I said, there are a few essential aspects of this program. So this program is not just a typical acceleration program or an incubation program. It's a venture studio. It's a venture studio where the focus is don't spend too much time on your ideas. Don't spend too much time building your technology. Take an idea which you feel could work in Albania and start building. Build fast. Use ready-made tools which will help you set up a platform and an application quickly, and then start selling. And if you go to the website, there'll be a lot of focus that you find on selling and marketing, and this is where the crux lies. And if I can draw some inspiration from Kirill's case study of Munch, you can start generating revenues within 1 month. So here the focus of the program will be very heavily skewed towards which startups can show revenue faster. And we'll not be just putting pressure on you, we'll be guiding you, and alongside us will be a few international mentors who are practitioners, actual startup co-founders, CEOs, CXOs of real circular economy startups who will be there to guide you in online mode, and also Albanian mentors on the ground in Tirana, who will be from the e-commerce, delivery, food delivery, or a marketplace background, or B2B sales background, who will be guiding you and helping you solve the challenges. But before you can actually start the venture studio and start applying, we encourage you to do two things, please. First, have a good understanding by watching the webinars and seminars and understand the program. Then go out and meet people, because you have to apply as a team. You have to apply as a team of at least 2 people. Maybe some colleague of yours from work 5 years ago, maybe she or he wants to set up a business. Your classmate. So we are not saying you have to have a lot of experience. You could be a student and a lot of energy to tackle challenges, and just jump in, and don't think, okay, I don't have an experience building startups before. No problems. If you have the energy, if you can solve problems as they come, if you're not too worried, you're not scared of challenges, just jump in and start building it. So first find a team, and then talk to the team and understand, okay, out of all these models that we have seen in the webinar, or also go here. Let me switch to the website quickly. Go here. You will find all documents here on the fact section. And there is an explanation document. This is, again, let me show it again. I need to get used to. So again, what are digital loops? This is on the FAQ menu item. Go here. What are digital loops? Click this. It'll open a presentation. Check out all these startups. Some of them have already been mentioned by Michael, and of course, we are inviting other people, founders with case studies. Let's say Munch, Kirill, you saw. But then go ahead and look at all these case studies and do some research, and then you say, okay, for the Albanian context, this is a great model. This is probably we'll sell this product and we'll sell to these kind of consumers. Once you have decided, then just submit us the idea, some idea about which digital loop you have selected, which of these 5 digital loops. So you will find reference about these. What are these digital loops? So type 1, 2, 3, you'll find in the presentation, but also on the website. If you go here, if you go here to the home page, you will find more references to the digital loops. So select 1 to 5. So you can navigate through these digital loops. The description is short on purpose, but you can look at these case studies. Montreat, the lady from Montreat will be coming and speaking to us in a webinar. Go through these and do your homework on the different brands available, and then you say, okay, I'm going ahead with this loop. Or you can also design your own digital loop or a marketplace or a solution, and tell us what you've chosen, what you will be selling, whether services or products, but it has to conform to the circular economy overall domain. And then click apply, and here is the application form. So we have opened the application form and it remains open till 26th of September. And if you want to know the overall timelines of the program, here, you'll find it here. Go ahead and take a look at how the program is designed. It's a 4-month program, which starts with 2 weeks of intense offline workshops. And again, as I said, we have selected most of the people who will be doing the workshops and mentoring are entrepreneurs. So entrepreneurs mentoring entrepreneurs, that's the credo, that's the feature of this program. And they will be exactly guiding you how to solve each and every challenge. And in the middle, there'll be something called a milestone 1, where we'll say, so initially when the program starts, when the top 10 startups are selected, we will give a first tranche immediately to all the startups. And then in the middle, we'll be evaluating the progress of the startup, and the progress of the startup, the more partners you sign up with, the more consumers, that is the end clients you have on visiting on your website, your look and feel of the website, your the platform, the number of products that are on display on the website, and ultimately the revenues. This will decide the progress. I mean, whether you go to the next stage or not. And in the next stage, which is we call milestone 1, 5 startups go ahead and get the second tranche. The other 5 continue, but they are not the winners. And then in the end of the program, 23rd of February, we have the milestone 2, which we decide, okay, these 3 startups are the best performers. So they get first, second, and third prizes, and which we announce on the demo day. So it's a total, when you start in October, from the start date to end date on 23rd of February, actually demo day is the formal end of the program. It's about a 4-month period. And in this 4-month period, at least I will pull out all the plugs. I will put out all the energy, and our mentors will help us. And the execution team will help us in ensuring that at least the top 5, top 3 are revenue positive, are generating revenues, because that's the focus of the program. And then once you are generating revenues, the angel investors and VCs will follow very quickly. It's a no-brainer. So I will stop here and start taking questions. There are none, but you can type as I go. Let me again navigate. So since there are no questions, let me show you what lies where. So basically, it's home. You find basically the summary of the program that you apply as a team, not as a startup. If you have a startup, we will consider it given a certain conditions, but we prefer that you are not an existing startup, that you are a team, and you get the ideas through the webinars, through your homework, and select a digital loop and give us a plan. And we will give you up to 47,000 euros in grant money, and we help you build your startup, which is a revenue positive. And then hopefully it continues even after the end of the program. These are the key statistics of the program, and the calendar is extremely important. Kindly keep watching it because we will be populating it with more and more events. Let's say this webinar 1 ends. If you missed it, if you missed the case study of Munch. So there are 2 ways where we will be, you can access it. So first is you go here to FAQ and go to the webinar 1 here. There is this will be linked to the presentation, which will be uploaded to YouTube, recorded and uploaded. And when you click Circuly, it'll take you to the case study where Circuly is being discussed. When you click Munch, it'll take you to the exact point where Munch was being discussed. Otherwise, you can actually click on this graphic, and it will take you to the overall the video, and you can access information about the program and other topics. Similarly, there are other webinars planned like this. These are upcoming ones, and you can actually register by clicking here. But the past events you can access by clicking on some specific points, and you can watch it again. The second way, how can you, like if you missed the webinar, then how can you know more information? We'll be having more events, seminars, live seminars, that is in place, offline seminars. Most of them will be in September. We'll be coming to the universities or the startup hubs, or not just in Albania, in neighboring countries also, and we will be playing some of the clippings from the webinars actually to educate you on the program and show you specific case studies about the startups. So it's important that you keep checking, and once you have, once you see our upcoming webinar or seminar, just click and register. See what this is about and register. So this might be important. And there are facts also listed. You can navigate on the facts. Whether if you have a doubt, you can check if your questions are featured. You can check these explainer documents. Webinars, if you still have doubts, then there is a question, email. Just write to us and we'll answer your question by email. So let me stop sharing, and I think there are some questions already waiting for us. Let me just take those questions now. Kushtam is saying, kindly show the audience how to find the guideline. Of course, yes, I'll show in a minute. The idea, Erisa is writing, the idea we have does not start with digital solutions. Only at the second stage, the Digitech comes in the picture. Would we be available or eligible? Yes, so I'll answer the question. So let me go back and share where the guideline is. So here is this is like this page. It's called FAQ, but it's like the repository where you'll find almost all the information that you might need. So go here. There are 3 buttons here, 3 most important ones. And this is where you'll find, if you click, you'll find information on the digital loops. Okay, what are digital loops? I want to have more. What are the typical examples? So great, you'll find them here. Here is a quick summary of what is the Digital Loop Accelerator, how is it designed, very quick and short introduction. Next. This third point is where you'll find the entire guidelines. What is allowed, what is not allowed, what is the procedure, what are the timelines. Here is the detailed description of the program. Just read it. If you have questions, you can write to us at the email that I mentioned. So everything is very clearly mentioned here. How much grant money, at what stages, everything is very, very clearly mentioned. So if your style is audiovisual, you learn better from examples, go ahead and watch the webinars. Or you wait for the next seminar, and we will be coming to your city, to your country. We will be coming soon. So let me again stop sharing. I'm new to Zoom, so I still have to learn a lot. And to answer this question from Erisa, the idea does not start with digital solutions. I would not say that. I mean, absolutely, everything is. I'll just repeat the question. The idea we have does not start with digital solutions. Only at the second stage, the Digitech comes in the picture. Would we be available or eligible? So everybody's like, if you have an idea, if you have a team, I'm only saying that in order to be eligible, you should have a team. And if you have a team, you have an idea, just apply with that idea. It is very normal for startups to pivot later. During the course of the program, if you're selected, you might through our mentorship, you might get a different direction and you can pivot. So totally, you can apply with your idea, and we are that's why, you know, when you see the application form, let me just show you again the application form. So if your idea is, I wish this goes away. When you apply, when you hit the button apply, you can choose one of these standard digital loops, 1 to 5. But if your solution doesn't fit neatly into one of the 5 categories we mentioned, then you can describe your own solution. That okay, it'll be taking this problem, and we ask you what is the circular economy problem you're solving? What product you're selling or renting, and we also ask you a few other things which what's your plan and so on, and then you write about it. However, our preference would be if by the end of 6 months, if you could generate revenue, if we see that by the end of 6 months, if this solution has the potential to generate even €1 of revenue, absolutely, we'll be thrilled to work with you. So don't hesitate to submit your unique idea. We are here to help you do that. However, there are circular economy solutions that take 1 year to build. The technology is complicated. It takes 1 year to build the technology. Let's say, some technology to recycle plastic bottles. Or it involves like a very untested idea, which is very unique, and it will probably work or not work. It'll take 6 months to develop from an idea to an MVP. That if you could talk to us and we could help you consider an alternative or tweak that idea to make it faster, like because the focus is on execution, we will encourage that talk to us. Maybe there is a tweak that to the idea which will help you execute faster and launch the product faster, because that's the idea. Idea could be simple, but launch the product quickly, start selling, start marketing, selling, and start generating revenues. That's the focus of the program. So I think I answered both the questions, and I don't see any more questions here. Maybe I'll give a few minutes for somebody to type the question, because I still have 9 minutes. So, okay, I think I'll end here, and please be in touch. Please keep checking the calendar events. We'll be coming to you, and but if you already have the idea, if you have everything you need, please apply. Please apply. But please make sure that you have at least 2 teammates. I mean, at least a team of 2 before you apply, and some idea of how you will. I mean, what will be your plan of launching the startup, of growing the startup? Just have some idea and then, apply. And I'll be looking forward to reading your applications and also working with you directly and with the mentors, and making sure that you succeed in the end. This is our job, to help you succeed. Okay, then. Thank you. And I thank the speakers, Michael and Kirill. I'm not sure if Kirill is still around, but
Yeah,
I thank the
you as
speakers for your time. And wonderful listening from you, Kirill. I really appreciate that you've stayed all along to support our startups. I really appreciate that. And Michael, thank you also.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you, and good luck.
Speak soon. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.